we have some fun with some crabs and learn something new. And then we also take on this lovely big bird, said dragon. And then we purchase our first dragon spell, arcana, or breath weapon, I guess you could call it. And then we go on a bit of a murder hobo experience. Welcome to Smash Games. We're back with Elden Ring Part 18. And you join us at a very interesting moment in our whole gameplay series where we really start to speed things up, and then I am editing, clipping a lot and fast forwarding, and see what you guys think. Tell me what you think about it. I feel like it's probably a little bit too choppy, but let me know. And then yeah, we'll see how we go from there. Now, we take on said crabs. And our first lineup of what we were talking about earlier. Now, something very interesting. I feel like this has happened in previous Souls games, but yeah, that. Like, okay. Damn. I mean, that's quite handy. Like, I know they can attack a certain enemy, like soldiers, attack other creatures, like say in Caelid, for example. You got them all attacking the demonic dogs and the giant fucking horror birds. Yeah. Anyway, look, for some reason, I don't know why, I find it a little bit easier to attack these guys off torrent. Just to point that out, because I think that just comes from my experience with Dark Souls 3, to be honest. But anyway, now we move forward to said bird. There he is. There's the flappy. I will say the wolves do not last very long at all. They they last a bit, but the thing is obviously once they take a few hits, they're dead. They're fucked, especially from the said breath weapon. But mind you, let's keep this in mind. This was my first time actually beating a dragon in this. Being this is still part of my blind playthrough. Probably soon you will start to find out that I actually have been playing around with other characters, and sometimes you'll find I've actually cut and edited in certain parts just to showcase what I've started to experience, what I've learned, what I've picked up, and I'm actually going to do a bit of a 1 hour run, well, that's to say, like, basically I want to go from start to the Fell Omen, Margit the Fell Omen, basically from the very start with a new character and beat him within an hour. So yeah, if you want to make sure you actually catch all this stuff I keep posting, and hit the bell, subscribe even, and you will definitely get to see more of my stuff essentially. So anyway, I appreciate it. Now at this point here I realised that in the game I did start to mention a few things, like I thought the dragon killed all my wolves, and then in that moment, now they're dead. I was going to edit that out, but unfortunately I already saved over this part, so they were like basically stuck in the video and I couldn't really go back. So anyway, there's so much editing to do. So as you can see here, we're fighting from here on out just with torrent. And yeah, one of the nice things about torrent is if he dies, which sometimes he does take the brunt of the damage more than you, depending on what's happening, you can revive him if you have at least one red crimson flask. So yeah, that's fun to know. If you think you really need him, in this case I do advise against the dragon to use torrent. I do advise that you should use torrent. However, I'd say he's still beatable on off horse. But yeah, anyway, look, I think there's you can look with any enemy. You can tell what they're doing. You've got a fairly good idea. If you're angling your camera up just enough, you can sort of get a general idea of what he's doing. Like some of his attacks are telegraphed. Like that big, like he's got a big tail swing, the breath weapon. There's one there when he's doing the tail swing and he swings his head right around and attacks you. That's another thing. So with the tail one, you can actually just jump straight over it. And the breath weapons you can sort of avoid by, you can just be at a distance, or as you ride towards him, and if he does the breath weapon, obviously just go either right or left. Pick a side, and then just keep going and veering around him. And that way, while you can even just trigger him while he's doing his breath weapon to then get a free, 5 or 6 hits on him. Anyway, that, as you can see, that specific tail swing, you can just jump over it with Torrent. So basically, since this fight, in that hour run I mentioned, he is one of the key targets. That's why I've got half an idea of what to do with him, because I've been fighting him a few times. Anyway. So, yeah, anyway, that's it for him.
Nice.
Ding ding. And then we get this lovely... I thought it was like a piece of the dragon's heart. And it says a dragon heart, but it actually looks like it's shaped like a dragon a little bit. But I still, I'm going to go with the fact it says heart, that's a piece of the heart. Take another little piece of my heart now, baby. I will. Boom, dragon. Anyway, so now we're just trying to assess, like, I had, at this point, I had no idea what the hell to do with it. I read there was a little bit of dialogue that pops up when you get it for the first time, a piece of a dragon heart. That's like something about you've completed something to pick it up at a dragon shrine, something like that. Now, there are a couple of dragon shrines. There's one actually off the coast of Limgrave. I can't tell you where specifically. I've just been there, once, technically. But anyway, once I get there, I do realise that we've been there, and here's some of the recording.
Okay. Apparently I visited it. Let's go have a look. Okay. Okay.
Just to break the dead air, because there's a lot of times where throughout this I'm not talking at all, especially for that first part of the dragon part of it. But anyway, I digress. We buy our first one. Now, at this stage, I'm actually being aware of the fact there is a knight here and around. I was just reading, but now I'm actually panning in the background. You can still see through your hub, or the screen where you're reading stuff. But yeah, no, I wanted to make sure, because he basically circles the whole building essentially. So, and we at this point still get our ass handed to us by him. He's actually very strong and still dangerous on horseback, believe it or not. If you're not staggering him, he's Anyway, we do check out all these cool spells. We end up just going with Dragonfire, and apparently we eat it, which is interesting. But yeah. Anyway, we now we're just sort of having a look at it, because at this point I'm pretty confident it's a spell. Although I think I do. Did I attach it? I can't remember now. I know I do attach it eventually. I just, the thing is, I can't actually use it because it requires 12 Arcana and 15, I want to say, Intelligence? Anyway. Yeah, so we're obviously taking on this knight.
That'd be right.
Yeah, and clearly really not doing too well. I think the first few times when you do fight him, he... oh, by the way, that was a dragon ability attack that he had with that symbol that popped up in front of him. Is essentially what it looks like from a front view, but the spell I chose, essentially a big dragon head pops out with a red symbol out in front, and then that's the spell. Anyway, I'm swapping out so they take less damage, because clearly I'm fucking, this guy wrecks you. Especially that he's skill attacks or whatever he's got. Like I think he's got that weird shield slam like he's got there, and he's got another one, or I think it's the same one. It's just the follow-up attack where he basically charges you down. And honestly, if you're not already on Torrent or you're not ready for it, like, just bam, you're gone. It's happened a few times to me, so cool. That's it. Yeah, fuck you. Anyway, yeah, there's the spell in all its glory, that particular one. And now we make our journey to. We're going to start picking up some maps at this point, and it's around this part of the game, around this point, that I start to not really care so much for trying to track down the caravan people, because just so you're aware, they are scattered everywhere. And while that might look, if killing innocent isn't your thing, and like, let's get this straight here, it's a game. It's a game. I said that and I cringed. But my point being that I did learn this from TikTok. You can kill them, you pick up these little bell things from them, and you give them to the twin husks sisters or whatever the fuck they are, pardon me, in the round table area. But yeah, as I said, we do go on a bit of a killing spree, and I think we end up with about, I don't know, like maybe 6 of them? 5 of them? I can't quite remember off the top of my head, but once I've actually gone through them all, you'll see, and yeah, we'll do a bit of a show off of, you know, the fact that we give them all to the twins, and yeah, obviously her what she sells in general will become a lot bigger. Now, unfortunately, it's not like Dark Souls 3 where you gave said character the ash and it expanded the what's it called? You know, when you're selling shit in a shop, it expanded her shop, right? But this is kind of like you gotta exit and go into a different name part of it, if you will. So you'll see what I mean. The point is, it's not as unified as it was, so it kind of makes it a little bit more awkward to search through. And if you can't remember what number you've picked, what bell, it's a little bit annoying, but ideally you're not actually fast traveling around the map trying to remember where or who you're supposed to talk to for a specific item. Like, for example, this next one has it's not green moss, but it's like, yeah, I forget what it is. He's got like a bunch of poisons and stuff like that. And yeah, like, it's stuff like that. So like, yeah, if you don't remember that it's with the one I say the one in Caelid, there's like 3 or so in Caelid, but this one's probably closest to the top of Caelid where you should technically first come across, because obviously the way the map's set up, there's the coastline sort of comes right up, like the water comes right up closer to the top of the map, so it's kind of hard to go down much further than that. But essentially, yeah, if you go on that main road through coming into Caelid and you come down this way, that's essentially where you'll come across that NPC. Now, we pick up our other map for the Caelid area. Obviously, we're very close to the Caelid Tower. And, yeah, as you can see by my little marker. So that should help you guys if you want to try and work out where this is. Look, on the map, these map markers are highlighted by like a little brown pillar on the map. So when you're looking for them, so see like how I'm sort of hanging around there, that little brown thing below. I'll make more of a point of it later. It's weird me saying that little brown thing. Pardon me. Anyway, now we're going to our next map, essentially. So I've basically marked it out. So that's where we're heading, and of course we die, you know. I'm pretty sure that cat amulet wasn't going to save us there. There's some people have been saying like, oh, you don't take any fall damage. Yeah, that's true, unless you exceed the amount of time or the fall limit, and then you just die regardless. Like, if you're taking only partial damage, yes, you won't take any damage, but yeah. Because, yeah, I saw a video where someone was like, oh, you'll be able to get a place in November before. I was like, yeah, but if you fall too far, you still die. It's, yeah, go figure. Yeah, so we do come across our second painting as of here, followed by, obviously, the smithing stone. That's just out the front of it. Now, I can basically tell you where that location is, because I didn't even know at this point that there are several of these paintings, and each painting gives you a general location. As soon as you touch/activate said painting, it then gives you like this little mini mission to go and find it. So essentially, that particular one near the start, near the first step, Grace. Essentially, if you go off to your right, you'll find a bunch of like little, those weird cross symbol-y stake things that you see sort of scattered around the land, especially in Limgrave. Yeah, so you pass those, and as you look out towards like the water, and a bit further down, there's like a bunch of broken pillars, and around there you'll find a little cluster of tombstones, and that is actually where you will find a little ghostly image just sitting there, and yeah, as soon as you discover it / talk to it, it'll give you a thing. That particular one gives you, I believe it's the gold scarab helmet. So that's fun. Essentially, there's a few. There's a couple of them, as you probably, if you've seen from a previous episode, but both or whatever ones you do pick up give you you take more damage. Essentially, they give you minus armor, if that helps. And all that means is that they generally have a nice boost towards either like poison resistance or the immunity buff or something like that, which is great. But you got to use, in my opinion, you need to use them in certain circumstances. Now we do talk to our first. Oh, he's not our first NPC, but like just in general, just a guy. And we have to clear out a castle, which is where that minor Erd tree is. It's just off towards the back there, where his castle is essentially. So we don't actually complete that in this part, but I will show it off in a much later video, of course. I don't even know what you get out of it, because I haven't actually gone back to talk to him at this point after I've visited the castle. So yeah, sorry about that. But anyway, this is supposed to be still a blind playthrough. But yeah, for the most part, most of these recordings are blind, up until the point, as I said earlier in the video. But yeah, now we're gonna go get our next map. Dead ahead, that little blue marker. Pretty close, I thought. Funny how I picked it right on top of it, and it's like within, a couple of meters, I guess. Now, the one thing that scared the shit out of me is the fact that that massive bloody, I think they call it ruin bear or some shit. And yeah, I want to avoid that. And then we go around the back of the minor Erd tree to pick up a few more tiers. At this point, I don't actually check them out, but essentially the green one I think boosts stamina, and the other one, I can't remember what that other one does. Sorry, I think it's a cracked tier, so it does some sort of damage, I presume. Because I know there's a couple of cracked tiers you can get, which essentially when you drink it, it basically sets off like a timer, and you do damage to everything else around you, including yourself. But ideally, if your vigor or health is high enough, this shouldn't be an issue in theory. But I did watch a really cool video on how certain things actually increase the damage load. So in other words, you've got the 2 tier stones, you basically double the damage, and then yeah, there's a few other things. If I find it, I'll share it in the comments below. But yeah, it was on TikTok, so I watched it a while ago. Anyway, we do come across our next salesman as we continue our murdering spree, as it were. So, but anyway, the whole point of this is we're just trying to make it so that we only have them all in one location, or one. We've only got to walk to one character. Is all that we're doing with this. because there is, I believe there's approximately like 20 of them in total across the entirety of this this realm. But yeah, because essentially, you basically, it's your one-stop shop at that point, and then of course we do come back to Kale, the original one we do come across. Now keep in mind, all these little bell pieces of spirit, if you will, are numbered. So this is the first one. The one we just killed before is the second one, and essentially they're supposedly characters that you come across throughout your travels. But anyway, that's enough of that for now. Thank you for watching, guys. Yeah, we'll catch you next time. See yous.